Hello, everyone. Thank you for being so patient. I am a little behind with answering the February top 5 questions because after 2.5 years, I finally got to experience COVID. So I'm still recovering from it a little bit. I had the tickly cough, um, and it might make an appearance. So let's see how we go. Right, if you are new here, welcome. And everyone asks their questions a little bit differently, but hopefully, if you go to the guide section, have a look at the Facebook Lives, there's a lot of historical questions that I've answered. You might find your one there. There's no harm in re asking because my work is continuing to evolve. I always just hit the live button, read the question, and as I'm speaking out my answer, I start to get more downloads, more answers that I will share with you. So it's all unscripted, it's all in the moment. And let's get into this question and I will talk about it a bit more. So I called this Sciatica and Season of Change. And the question is, what are the emotions behind sciatic pain? Mine's peripherally pinched, and no matter what treatments I've gotten and how much I've flossed, it isn't budging. I'm in a season of change and indecision, so wondering if that might have something to do with it. Now, this person has done some work with me. They're also a practitioner, so I'm going to break down some of these and some of the words in this question. So the first one is sciatic pain. Sciatic pain is any pain that radiates down the leg, and it can go down different pathways. Now, historically, being an osteopath, the path of which a radiation occurs down the leg can tell you if it's a trigger point, if it is a muscle, or if it is actually a nerve root issue, which usually indicates some sort of disc irritation. And disc injuries, for example, so sciatic is just a very, very generalized term. If someone does have a disc injury, a lot of the time you can tell from the history of the mechanism of injury, and certain positions and certain activities will aggravate it. And this is something that I would really recommend that you get good support from an experienced practitioner. I have historically worked with people where I'm very, very strict with what they can and can't do, and the earlier we catch it, the better. But a lot of it does have to do with your lifestyle and your positions that you're putting yourself under. And a big thing with pain, that any pain, not just sciatic or back pain, is a lot of people have issues changing their behaviors and the way they operate day to day. So that's where if anyone asked me to work with them on back pain, I'd say you have to do the emotional work because I'm going to ask you to change a lot. There's a lot of fear that can come up with back pain as well. So, yeah, and then other times, sciatic pain, I just want to mention it can be because of a really strong trigger point that's in the glutes, in the hamstring or the quads or higher up, and then it's causing this referral. So it is important to decipher, where is this coming from? And do I really need to address a physical element? Because a lot of the time when we're in pain, it's difficult to access the emotional level. And so sometimes people will come to me in pain, physical, mental, behavioral, whatever, and I need to try and help them get out of pain so they can access the deeper levels. Okay, so no matter and for anything sciatic related, just because this person has tried treatments and I know they're a practitioner themselves, is I've always been a big fan of needling. My needling that I used to do was very intentional in finding the physical structures that were affected. Now, the other thing is that we all have different tolerances for different types of treatment. And so, again, I'm just going to pull on the osteo world. I was a very structural practitioner, so I would get in there, I would crack people, I would stick needles in sore spots, I would elicit a reaction. I could treat people that sorry. And so then the other form is more like the cranial or indirect. It can feel very subtle as the client. It can feel like nothing's really happening, but you feel the effects afterwards. So, I used to treat some really anxious clients who I could barely touch. I definitely couldn't crack them and I couldn't get a needle near them. And so a lot of the time it was building trust in other ways and building trust for them in me as a practitioner so that I could start to get into those deeper structural layers. So I'd also be questioning for this particular person is, do you find that you don't let people get into your body? Are you more sensitive? Because yes, some physical treatment can bring up physical discomfort. And as humans, we're not generally wired for more discomfort. And sometimes it's a little bit of a phase to get through. But I'd say that, discomfort shouldn't last for more than 2 to 3 sessions before you start to turn a corner. Okay. So, I floss and it isn't budging. And this is my realm, is when people have tried all the treatments, conventional, alternative, and it's not budging, they usually start to look at emotional and want a little bit more insight. And once I create the awareness around the emotions, your job is to process your emotions. And that's what I teach people to do, is a very structured process on how to actually process your emotions. So, yeah, you can do all the things, and sometimes we just hope that maybe this is the silver bullet that will fix it. But this person's very aware of emotions as well. So I'm in a season of change and indecision. So I'm wondering if that might have something to do with it. And what I'll do is just share a little bit of my story, is that I experienced pain in the form of skin issues and getting sick all of the time many years ago. And I tried what I felt like all the things that I knew at that time. But one thing that I knew on the emotional level was that all of this work that I'm now expressing is something that I could intuitively see and understand, but I was not expressing it. So I had done hours of meditation, gone to Vipassana, I'd taken all the pills, the herbs. In the past, I tried all the conventional stuff many years ago. And I remember having this thought in my mind going, all right, is this the only thing that's left? So skin has its interpretation. I won't explain that here. Skin has its own interpretation on an emotional level. And so my understanding was, I have this knowing inside of myself. I have this stuff that I want to share with the world, my clients, and express myself. Is this really all that I have to do? And that is what will change how my body is manifesting its physical issues in the form of acne or skin complaints. And so I share that because this person said, I'm in a season of change and indecision. And as a business owner, entrepreneur, I've run a team in the past, I have this online business with a small team at the moment, is decisiveness, is something that moves me forwards so fast. But I do have to navigate and walk with fear. Fear never goes away. But those decisions that I've made that come from a place of deeper knowing and intuition are the things that have catapulted my life forwards. So if you've been following for a while, you know that, yeah, my life has changed a lot over the last 7 to 10 years. And kind of happens at light speed at the moment. But I would say make the decision and go and find out if this is going to help your sciatica. Listen to your body and, yeah, have a quiet moment. Quite often, the things that people ask or they say to me, I'm like, that's the thing that you've got to go and do. If this is what's on your mind, instead of letting it mull and brew, why don't you go and find out? Take action and go and find out. So good luck with your sciatic discomfort, and yeah, let's look at the emotional level, make moves on that plane, and let's see if it changes. Thanks for listening.